Gentle Woods Park was 4 blocks from Kristin's house, but to get there, Kristin and Monica preferred to walk 1 block and cut through the neighborhood houses. Woods stretched behind these houses and along Gentle Woods Creek. Kristin and Monica sometimes caught crawdads in the creek or picked blackberries on the other side of the woods. They wandered the worn path beside the creek, balancing across logs and jumping over stones. But on this day, Monica and Kristin rode their bikes to the main part of the park, the part with the playground and undercover picnic area and open green grass. It was on this day they found the shoe. Kristin and Monica stood on the bridge that crossed the creek. It was summer and sunny, and the sun dappled through the trees across the water. They read the names carved into the wooden railing of the bridge. Sarah Hart's Matt. Tanya plus Mike equals love. RW and LG forever. They had stick races to see whose would come out first on the other side of the bridge. On this particular day, they wandered to a corner of the park they didn't explore often. Usually it was a dead end because the creek was too deep to cross in this area. But today they found a spot to cross, where the water was lower and the rocks made a path across to the opposite bank. They walked along this bank that they had never explored. They climbed down to a spot along the creek where the mud had dried enough to stand on. It was Monica who saw the shoe. "Look, what is that?" asked Monica. "What?" asked Kristin. "That shoe, see it?" Kristin's eyes followed to where Monica was pointing. It wasn't easy to see. It was wedged deep into the mud on the opposite bank of the creek, half hidden by the roots of a shrub. "Wow, it looks old," said Kristin. It was a patent leather saddle shoe, the kind that Kristin pictured her mother wearing when she was a little girl. Kristin could make out the pattern of the white and black, except it was now cream and tan. How did it get there? Monica told her, "I heard a story about how a girl drowned in this creek. My dad told me. It must be her shoe." "Really? Whoa, when did that happen?" asked Kristin. "A long time ago, maybe 10 years ago." "Oh, how awful. She must have slipped and her shoe got stuck." Kristin pictured the police and the girl's family searching along the creek for the drowned girl and missing the most important clue of a shoe, and now they had found it. "Should we tell the police?" asked Kristin. "Maybe we can pull it out," said Monica. But the water seemed deep to where the shoe was, and wading across seemed dangerous. Kristin pictured them drowning too, their parents wandering and distraught, looking for their bodies. The police shaking their heads and saying, "These girls shouldn't have been out here playing in the creek." "Okay, we can try," Kristin ventured. "Maybe I can reach it from over there," said Monica. So instead of wading across, Monica climbed back up the bank and crossed back over to the other side at a shallow place. But the bank was steep and awkward at the place where the shoe was embedded. Monica laid on her belly and tried to shimmy closer. The shrub poked at her face and body. Kristin watched from the across the creek. "Am I close?" Monica yelled. "Not very. Maybe reach a little more," Kristin yelled back. No, you're still pretty far." Monica backed out of the shrub. "I can't reach it," she said. "Maybe we can try again another day when the water is lower and we can wade across," Kristin suggested. The rest of the summer, Kristin and Monica didn't tell anyone about the shoe. It was their secret. They came back many times, sitting on the grass and looking at their shoe. They never tried to get it out again, and they never heard more about the drowned girl. But they mourned her. They pictured her as a Sally, or a Cindy, or a Margaret. How old was she when she drowned? How old would she be now if she hadn't drowned? "She haunts the creek now," said Kristin. "She is probably glad that we come to visit her." Now when Kristin and Monica came to Gentlewoods Park, they felt her there, watching them.